e o técnico Kengo. Vamos para a apresentação da equipe dos Estados Unidos. Com a 0, Davis. 2, Sebastian. 4, Ian. 7, Judy. 9, Jonathan. 10, Colin. 11, Gavin. 13, Andrew. 21, Matthew. 30, Perry. 33, Houston. 41, Charles e o coach Scott. Vamos para a apresentação da equipe de arbitragem. Maurício, Christian, Dimitri e o comendador Ricardo. Vamos agora todos em posição de respeito para a execução do hino nacional da equipe do Japão. Agora todos e todas em posição de respeito para a execução do hino nacional dos Estados Unidos.
Welcome back to Sao Paulo in Brazil for the 2025 U23 Men World Championship pool stage game between the USA and Japan. Referees for today's encounter, crew chief is Maurizio Zamponi, the assistants Christian Colombati and Dimitri Zilas. Both teams are coming off, both teams have one loss and a victory in this tournament, so both looking for their second victory of the 2025 edition of this U23 Men's World Championship. And USA get us up and running. 23 for Japan is Shinsaku Iwata. Japan get their first points of the game. Timothy Houston on the ball for the USA. Doesn't drop for the USA there, Jonathan Smith. And Shinsaku Iwata converts for the Japanese. Jonathan Smith in possession for the USA. Plays it long to Timothy Houston. It doesn't drop on that occasion for Houston, and the men in red will transition down to the other side of the court. Kanata Ariyoshi in possession. Lays it off to Takuma Taniguchi. Long range attempt there from Data Koyama extends Japan up to a 6-2 lead, 8 minutes left of this first period. Shot doesn't land there for Andrew Butel. Japan breaking through into the zone there with the speedy Dato Koyama, and foul's going to go against Andrew Butel. Koyama to the line. Rebound picked up by Timothy Houston for the USA, and he'll look to find Jonathan Smith. Smith will find Andrew Butel, back to Timothy Houston. Houston will put up the mid-range shot. Rebound is loose. Houston does well to keep it in play for the USA, and Jonathan Smith unable to convert for the USA. Japan now will mount another attack there in possession. Kanata Ariyoshi. Data Koyama for Japan. Koyama will put up the shot. Rebound's going to be collected by Andrew Butel. Smith to Houston. Houston plays it across to Keyshawn Pear, and Pear takes the USA score up to 4. Long pass into the zone there towards Iwata, but USA pick his pocket, and away comes Andrew Butel with the ball there for the USA. Timothy Houston working with Butel to try and open up some space. Foul's going to go against Japan's number 14 there, Takuma Taniguchi. Smith plays it to Timothy Houston. Houston will set himself up, unable to trouble the scorers there, and away come Japan with Takuma Taniguchi. Taniguchi sees some space, goes directly into the lane, but unable to convert for Japan. Butel to Smith. Smith will play it across to Keyshawn Pair, and Pair a little bit off sync on that one. Away comes Taniguchi for Japan. Rebound picked up by Houston. Andrew Butel will have the attempt. Rebound collected by Deitu Koyama. Three-point attempt goes up by Kanata Ariyoshi. USA will set up the play down the other side of the court. And rebound collected once again by Japan. One-range shot goes up from the Japanese number 89, Kanata Ariyoshi. And Timothy Houston finds a lot of space there, but unable to make the most of that opportunity. USA coach Scott Meyer will call for the timeout, and with 4:26 to play in the first period, USA 4, Japan 7. Japan in position now with Deitu Koyama and Kanata Ariyoshi. Puts up the long-range shot. Houston will initially pick up the rebound, but loose ball, no harm done for the USA as Houston will drive up the court. Foul's going to go against Kanata Ariyoshi, the Japanese number 89. Keyshawn Pair finds Andrew Butel, Jonathan Smith. A lot of space there for Smith, but he opts to play it out to Keyshawn Pair, and Pair unable to finish there for the USA, and away comes Japan now with Deitu Koyama. Almost finding Houston, but the speedy Japanese number 1 there, Deitu Koyama, stole the ball back for Japan. Ariyoshi in position. Plays it out to Takuma Taniguchi. And shot clock running down. Shot goes up there from Tonanto Ariyoshi. Rebound collected by Timothy Houston. Keyshawn Pear. Timothy Houston. Shot clock at 7. USA will look to put it up, which Keyshawn Pear does. And narrows the Japanese lead down to 1 point. Just under 2.5 minutes to play in this first period. Very good shot on that occasion by the Japanese, and away comes Andrew Butel for the USA. Driving down the left-hand side of the court, finds Timothy Houston, and Houston doesn't accept that opportunity to take the lead. Iwata in possession for Japan. And USA pick up the loose ball with Andrew Butel in possession. Plays it out to Gavin Peterson. And the shot goes up from Jonathan Smith. Apologies. Timeout called by Japanese coach Kengo Naka. So 1:26 to play in this first period, and the USA lead Japan by 8 points to 7. So 1:26 to play here in this first period. Japan with the possession. Number 14 for Japan, Takuma Taniguchi. Finds Daito Koyama. Koyama sees some space. Takes the opportunity, gets the shot up, and the foul will go against Timothy Houston, sending Koyama to the line for 2 free throws. Koyama unable to add to the Japanese score, and USA will bring the ball up. Number 7 there is Jude Hiley. Houston unable to keep the ball in play, so Japan will inbound from the sideline with just under a minute to play here in this first period. Koyama. Long-range attempt there from Iwata. Didn't land for Japan. 10 for USA. Colin Lancaster. Finds Andrew Butel. Back to Lancaster. Back to Butel. Butel will put up the shot. And takes the USA up to the 10-point mark. 17 seconds left of this first period. Dato Koyama looking for the three-point opportunity. Doesn't take it. Needs to get the shot up, and eventually does. Doesn't drop. And that will be the end of the first period. So the USA leads Japan by 10 points to 7. We'll be back in a minute's time. Japan will get us up and running here in the second period. Takuma Taniguchi will inbound for the men in red. Gives it out to Shinsaku Iwata. Taniguchi's shot gives us our first points of this second period and brings Japan to within 1 point of the USA. Lancaster in possession for the USA, plays it across to Timothy Houston, in turn sends it back to Lancaster. Jude Hiley back to Houston, and Timothy Houston converts. Shinsaku Iwata for Japan, moving up the left-hand side of the court, plays it out to Takuma Taniguchi. For some space, plays it back to the number 20 there, Masato Watanabe. Timothy Houston getting a piece of that, and Colin Lancaster quick to pounce on it for the USA, and drives into the paint. USA managed to maintain control after losing the opportunity. Jude Hiley takes USA up to 14, 8:42 to play here in this first half. Unable to convert there for Japan, and away comes Houston for the USA. Jude Hiley to Colin Lancaster. Lancaster will put up the shot, a little bit short on that occasion. Ball goes out of play. Japan will inbound from the baseline and will call for the substitution. Off goes Shinsaku Iwata, and coming back onto the court, Dayoto Koyama. Koyama for Japan. Looking for options. Closely watched there by Houston, but manages to get past him. Gets the shot up, and he will be called for the offensive foul. Daito Koyama, the main, singled out for that one. And Rebuto. Timothy Houston just keeping the tempo to their own pace, the USA, but, being dragged into the Japanese quick speed. Wayward pass, and Houston quick to grab the possession back for the USA, and Jude Harley in possession, driving in towards the zone, will play it off to Houston, and Houston banks it in. And timeout will be called by Japanese coach Kengo Inaka. USA 18, Japan 9, and we have 7 to play in this first half. Moriaka plays it off to Koyama, back to Moriaka. Almost lost it there, but Koyama will drive down towards the baseline. Foul's going to go, I think, against the USA number 10 there, Colin Lancaster. Koyama for Japan. Shot clock at 7. Jude Harley making it difficult there for the Japanese number 1, but Japan will get up the shot. Rebound is collected there by Houston, and away come the USA. Colin Lancaster looking towards Houston, and space now starting to open up for the USA, and converted there by Marshall Stevens. And with the quick answer, and converted there by Masato Watanabe. Jude Harley for the USA. Finds Marshall Stevens, but USA almost losing possession, but did well to get the ball back. And Timothy Houston's wheel going out of bounds, so Japan will inbound from the baseline. Daito Koyama for Japan. 5:27 to play here in this first half. Puts up the long-range attempt, and away comes Timothy Houston for the USA. Closely watched there by Takuma Taniguchi. Jude Harley. Rebound will be picked up by the Japanese number 38 there, Koya Moriaka. Watanabe for Japan. Koyama. Trying to find some space, but the USA shutting out the space for the Japanese to get into the zone. And Japan forced into the long effort there from Watanabe, and 24 shot clock violation there. Colin Lancaster for the USA finds Timothy Houston. Houston decides to play it across to Colin Lancaster, and Lancaster will convert for the USA. So USA just starting to grab this game by the scruff of the neck. 9-point advantage for the USA. Japan will want to keep the scoreboard ticking over though, and Iwata not able to get himself into a slightly better position at the moment. And Andrew Butel, Jude Hardy, and Lancaster. Timothy Houston unable to convert, and here comes Daito Koyama for Japan, looking to try and narrow the deficit. Daito Koyama for Japan puts up the long-range effort there. Jude Hardy will come away with the ball for the USA. Looking for a pass towards Colin Lancaster, and Lancaster eventually will pick up the loose ball. Houston across to Harley. Harley puts up the shot. Rebound will be picked up by the Japanese eventually. And away comes Shinsaku Iwata. Kanata Ariyoshi for Japan, closely watched by Colin Lancaster. And space opens up there for Koyama. Koyama gets Japan up to 13, and we have just under 3 to play here in this first half. Lancaster with the hook shot, converts for the USA. Kanata Ariyoshi battling to find some space there in the USA half of the court, and Houston will launch the ball long towards Andrew Butel, and Butel will gladly accept that opportunity. 24-13, just under 2 to play in the first half, that is. Jude Harley called for the foul. opportunity there, and Shinsaku Iwata unable to convert, but he will draw the foul, and that will take him to the line. Good work there from Shinsaku Iwata. 2 from 2 on at the line there. Loose ball there from Sebastian Milan, and quickly picked up by Japan. Iwata almost losing the ball, but recovers well. Finds Koyama. Shot clock at 8 for Japan. Iwata will put up the shot. Rebound collected by Preston Howell. Jude Harley plays it across to Charles Preston Howell. Pass on that occasion from Andrew Butel was behind Jude Harley, so USA turn the ball over. 5:25. Final minute of this first half. Iwata will find Koyama. Iwata will put up the 3 and converts for Japan. So Japan up to 18. 6-point lead for the USA as we move into the final 30 seconds of this first half. Points there for Jude Harley. Final 5 seconds of this first half. Long 3-point attempt there from Kanata Ariyoshi. Doesn't land for Japan. So final play of this half will go to the USA, and the clock will sound. So at the end of this first half, USA lead Japan by 26 points to 18. And we'll be back for the second half in a short while. Second half about to get underway here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's the 2025 IWBF U23 Men World Championships. Pool B action between USA and Japan. USA leading Japan 26-18 at the break. And they are in possession. Shot there from Colin Houston, didn't drop for the men in white. Japan in position with Daito Koyama and looking for some space. Opens up there for Takuma Taniguchi, who converts for the Japanese and narrows the deficit down to 6 points. Jonathan Smith finds Timothy Houston. Goes it across to Keishawn Pei. And Japan will come away with the possession. Shinisaku Iwata. Koyama to Ariyoshi to Iwata. And Iwata will put up the shot. Timothy Houston will pick up the rebound and hands it out to Colin Lancaster. Lancaster's pass goes behind Jonathan Smith, so Japan has another opportunity to try and narrow the deficit. Koyama to Iwatu. And Koyama unable to finish there for the Japanese. Timothy Houston will launch another USA attack. Jonathan Smith plays it out to Keishawn Pei. Smith back to Pei. He will put up the shot. Not a particular good one at that, but has a second bite at the cherry. Foul will be called against Timothy Houston. For Japan, looking for some space. Space presenting itself in the zone for the Japanese, and rebound collected by the USA, and they go down the other side of the court with Timothy Houston. Takes the USA up to the 28-point mark. 7 minutes to play here in this third period. Both teams with the 1 win and 1 loss, so neither side wanting to come away with a second loss here, or to play for both sides. Jonathan Smith for the USA. Houston, plenty of time, decides to play to Lancaster. Now Smith will put up the shot. Rebound's going to be picked up by Daito Koyama for Japan, and he drives down the center of the court. A little Japanese playmaker general here. Puts up the shot. Rebound collected by Lancaster, and away comes Timothy Houston. Houston to Smith, and rebound picked up by Shinisaku Iwata. Iwata finds Koyama, and Koyama takes Japan to within 6. Smith for the USA. And working hard to keep the USA out of the zone, and Houston's attempt was short on that occasion. Iwata will lay it out to Kanata Ariyoshi. Iwata. And, Iwata finds some space, puts up the shot, rebound collected by Lancaster. Fouls called against Shinsaku Iwata, the Japanese 23. Smith will convert for the USA, takes them up to 30. Just under 5 to play here in this third period. Space opening up there for Koyama, but quickly shut down by the USA. Shot clock at 3, so Koyama will need to get it up. He does, but it's short, and Houston will find Keyshawn Pair in position for the USA. Finds Houston, and foul will go against Japan's looked like the foul was called there against Kanata Ariyoshi. Plays it across to Keyshawn Pair, and Pair adds 2 more points for the USA, and takes them to top of the leaderboard with Timothy Houston in terms of the point scorers. 8 points apiece for the USA. Iwata crashes to the floor, but quickly picks himself up, and will find Koyama, but USA now will have the opportunity to extend their lead, and Timothy Houston will do exactly that. Timeout's going to be called by Kengo Naka for Japan. 3:47 to play here in the third period. USA 34, Japan 22. Koyama for Japan. Foul call there against Jonathan Smith, the USA number 9. Ariyoshi plays it out to Koyama, and Koyama brings the score to within 10 points. Of course, Japan's definitely still in this game, but the momentum seems to be with the USA at the moment. But Japan now with an opportunity to get some more points on the board, and another foul is going to go against Jonathan Smith. Iwata puts the pass across the paint, and Koyama unable to convert there for Japan. Colin Lancaster now for the USA on the other side of the court. Smith finds Keyshawn Pear. Has time on his hands, and takes the USA up to the 36-point mark. And working hard to try and hit back straight away. A lot of time for the shot there from Kanata Ariyoshi. Doesn't land for Japan, and away comes Jonathan Smith again for the USA. Houston, Pear. And the foul will go against Kanata Ariyoshi. Smith to Lancaster. Lancaster to Pear, and Pear shot doesn't fall. Away comes Japan with number 14 there, Takuma Taniguchi, but stolen away by Jonathan Smith. And unable to finish there for the USA on that occasion. Smith, just under a minute and a half to play here in this third period. Iwata. Shot clock at 7. Japan looking to get a shot up, and Iwata will eventually do so, and converts for Japan. Final minute of this third period. Ryan Fitzpatrick in possession for the USA. Passes it to Lancaster. Smith will find Houston. And Houston unable to convert for the USA. Taniguchi for the Japanese. Koyama. Shot clock at 1, and good defensive play there from the USA, shutting out Japan, and Ryan Fitzpatrick for the USA. And that is the end of the third period. So USA lead Japan by 36-26 with 1 period to go in this game. We'll be back shortly with the final quarter. Final period underway. Japan will pick up the possession. Daito Koyama leading point scorer for the Japanese in this game with 9 points. Iwata. And Iwata will now go up to 11 points in this game. Andrew Butel for USA. It's, Martel Stevens. Butel across to Jude Harley, and Harley's shot in and out, picked up by Iwata, but he ends it straight back to Martel Stevens. USA will pick up the possession. Jude Harley plays it across to Lancaster. Lancaster puts up the shot. Daito Koyama for Japan. Showing too much of it to Jude Harley, and Harley did well. Picks up the return pass and takes USA up to 40 points. 8:36 to play here in this game. Koyama gets it across to Taniguchi, and Taniguchi brings the deficit back down to 10 points. So Japan just within striking distance, but USA looking good for a possible win here, and Timothy Houston will extend that lead out to 12. Timeout will be called by Kengo Naka, the Japanese coach. 42 plays with 30, and we have just over 8 minutes to play in the game. Iwata looking for some space for Japan, plays it across to Koyama, and Koyama takes the Japanese score up to 32, narrows the deficit down to 10, and Jude Harley for the USA. And Mutual Harley. Stevens will find Houston. Houston finds the gap, goes baseline, and he will draw the foul, go to the line for 2. .20 to play here in this game. USA with the 12-point advantage. Koyama will be blown for the travel violation. opportunity for the USA to extend that lead. Houston in possession for the USA. Looking to extend the lead to 14. It doesn't drop though, and Koyama will get something going for Japan. Taniguchi, space opens up for him, and he converts. So 10-point game, 7 minutes to play. Jude Harley's attempt there didn't land for the USA, so Iwata will look to get something going for Japan. Koyama. Taniguchi will convert for Japan, so that will bring Japan to within 8, and USA coach Scott Mayer will call for the timeout. 6:15 to play. USA 44, Japan 36. Jude Harley for the USA. Looking to drive to the baseline, decides to pass the ball back to Lancaster, and now Timothy Houston will set himself up for the shot and banks it in off the backboard to take USA up to 46 points. Under 6 minutes to play here in this game. Plays it to Koya Moriaka, and Moriaka's attempt doesn't land. Harley will bring it up for the USA now. Butel to Houston. And three-point attempt goes up there. Colin Lancaster, and he lands that attempt. 49 plays 36. As we move into the final 5 minutes of this game, Koyama will strike back immediately for the Japanese. So just still within touching distance. Japan not giving up in this encounter. Plenty of time for them to mount a comeback. But Jude Harley will not want that to happen, as Stevens doesn't convert, but tidying up nicely for the USA. Andrew Butel. Koyama. Daito Koyama looking to find a way past Stevens, but Stevens doing well. And good play initially there by Japan, Taniguchi, but ball swatted away by Stevens. Koyama, shot clock at 5. Japan will need to get the shot up, but good defense by the USA. And Rebound falls in favor of the Japanese. Andrew Butel. Just a bit of indecision there and nearly lost possession, but possession still with the USA. And foul's going to go against Japan, so Timothy Houston will go to the line for 2 free throws. Converted there by Jude Hiley. USA 52, Japan 38. Daito Koyama in possession for Japan. Jump ball called by referee Christian Colombati, and USA will pick up the possession thanks to the alternating possession rule. 3:29 to play in this game. USA looking to hold out and pick up their second win of this tournament. Just the one lost to Italy yesterday. Stevens. Rebound collected there by Andrew Butel, and Butel will convert for the Americans. Koyama for Japan. Good hands there from Stevens, but Koyama will regain possession, puts up the shot, and on that occasion Stevens will be called for the foul. Koyama to the line for 2 free throws. Koyama converts there on the second attempt. Japan 39, USA 54. Just under 3 to play here in this game. Japan will never give up, of course. But Andrew Butel in control for the USA. Timothy Houston closely watched there by the Japanese number 77, number 70, Taichi Kuga. And Colin Lancaster extends the USA lead. Final 2.5 minutes of the game. Koyama. And travel violation goes against the Japanese number 1. Houston. Stevens. Stevens will put up the scoop shot and converts it for the USA, so they edge towards the 60-point mark, just over 2 to play. And away comes Japan with Daito Koyama. Taniguchi plays it back to Koyama. And space opens up there for Taniguchi. Taniguchi unable to convert. The last touch will come off the USA arm of Martrell Stevens. Japan will call a substitution. Off goes their number 20, Masato Watanabe, and on comes Shinasaku Iwata. Daito Koyama will have to put up the shot. The shot clock running down. And good hands there from the USA number 21, Martrell Stevens. Long arms. Swats the ball away from Koyama. Now Scott Houston. Timothy Houston, my apologies. Houston to Butel unable to convert. Japan, Taniguchi lays it off to Daitu Koyama. Moving into the final minute of this game, and the three-point shot won't land for Japan, and Andrew Butel will just control the possession. Lays it off to Stevens. Hiley will play to Houston. Back to Hiley. Just managing the shot clock nicely, eating up some time, and the three-point attempt from Lancaster doesn't land, but he picks up his own rebound. Timothy Houston. Size advantage, and it counts as he converts. USA go to the 60-point mark. Timeout called by the Japanese coach Kengo Naka. So 30 odd seconds left of this game, and USA on their way to their second victory of this, the 2025 IWBF U23 Men's World Championship, coming to you live from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Final 30 seconds here in this game. Iwata for Japan. Rebound collected there by Hiley to Houston now. Lancaster. And that will be the game. So the USA pick up their second win of the tournament with a relatively comfortable win against Japan, although Japan definitely put up a spirited performance. So the final score here in Sao Paulo, the United States have beaten Japan by 60 points to 39. And that's all the action here from Court 2 for today. And we'll be back tomorrow for more action in the 2025 IWBF U23 Men World Championships.